Essential tips in doing handmade jewelry. When you have a leather cord as a necklace or bracelet, or even the one you have in the spool and it is a little bit wrinkled, stretch it out, give it a bit of hot using the blow dryer, and you will see how straight and beautiful it turns out to be. If you don't have the backside of the earrings you just made, or you even have lost them, don't worry, because you'll see an easy way to make them in only 1 minute. Put a piece of baking paper on top of an eraser. Put a drop of hot glue. Stick the earring in the center and let it dry. Once you take it off, you will have a perfect backside end that you will never lose again. If you want the eyelets you make out of wire to always be the same size, put a mark on the pliers with a permanent marker. Put the wire on the marks and you will have all the eyelets the exact size. If the thread you need to use is the one that unravels all the time, here's the tip. It's very simple and easy to do. Put a little bit of transparent nail polish. It won't unravel again. How many times has this happened? To me, many times. So what you have to do is very simple. Make small slots around the circle of the plastic spool. But remember, don't make them too big, at least 1 millimeter. That way you'll be able to hook the wire and it will never undo. The usual way of making knots is always a pain. It has cost me so much due to my butterfingers. What I mean is that my fingers are very clumsy. But you know what? I found a definite tip. Cut a piece of straw that you used to drink. You know, the ones that you buy in a supermarket? Well, those. Use them like in the video and you will see how simple it is to tie the knots. When I try to tie knots close to the beads, it drives me crazy. It's horrible. It takes me forever. But don't worry, I have the best tip. Okay, get a pin and stick it as close as you can to your bead. Go around it, then underneath, and pass the cord through the small hole. See how simple that was? You have the knot right next to the bead. Oh, and remember everyone not to let the pin on. Oh man, it doesn't fit. I can't make it fit. Has it ever happened to you? Thread a needle and make a thick knot. Pass it through the end of whichever thread you want to use. And then that thread, pass it through the hole of the bead where you want it to go. You'll see how easy it is. And what can you tell me about marking the wire with the pliers? Ugh, awful. Well, all you need to do is put a small piece of masking tape on each side. It's a type of tape that is easy to peel off and it won't leave any marks at all. So that way, when you bend the wire, it will be clean and no marks. What a pain it is until we finally thread the needle. I feel hopeless every time I try. But not to worry, because the thinking heads have given us another tip. Put a little bit of Vaseline on your finger or even on your lips and put it on the end of the thread, and you will see that threading the needle will be a piece of cake. If your scissors are in awful state and they don't cut anymore, don't worry, because there's also a tip. With a piece of aluminium foil, all you have to do is start making small cuts until the scissors are sharpened. Just like that. That simple. And what can you tell me about your fingerprints on the clay? How can we make them disappear? Well, it's very simple. Wet one of your fingers and then rub it this way around the clay, and you will see bit by bit how your fingerprints start disappearing. I don't know if it happens to you, but every time I do something with glue, I get everything completely stained. So in order to get the stain away, what I do is I use a cotton swab and pour nail polish remover, the ones you use when you take your nail polish off. Well, those ones. Rub it like you can see in the video, and slowly it will go away and the surface will be super shiny. And the moment when you're in the middle of making a jewelry and all of a sudden you have no more rings. Oh, don't worry, because this is what we'll do. Wrap a piece of wire over a cylindrical object. Make sure it measures the same dimension, okay? Start rolling it up, and once done, cut it off. You will see how many super resistant and professional rings you get. Finally, for those rings that become extremely used and they end up opening, there's also a tip. All you have to do is put a little drop of hot glue right on the joint and start rubbing it. Make sure that your fingers are wet. It is very important, otherwise you will get burned. Try to have the glue in and outside of the ring. You will see that it will never open again. So cool, huh? By the way, if you have any other tips that I haven't said, please write them in the comments below, and that way when I make the new video, I will name you. You never know, probably the video will become one of the most viewed video and we'll become rich. No, super rich. No, wait, insanely rich, and we'll be living for the rest of our lives in a sublime beach with a mojito. Don't you just love to dream? Click on like if you have liked this video. You can also visit and see more ideas in cocoatutorials.com or find me in the social networks. I send you millions of kisses, all of you all over the world, and remember, we will see each other next week.